Daniel Gromm, 1964 Chevy Impala Wagon. I love cars. I love that era of cars that makes America. One of the things that's unique about America is our car culture. This style of cars that we have is very unique. Actually, my passion for cars actually started really young. Started with my first Hot Wheels. I fell in love with cars at that point on, and I think that's where it started. That's where my passion for cars came from. It just grew from there. This all came from my mom. My mom was a Tiki model in the 40s, and she loved Hawaii. She took me to Hawaii many times. When she passed away, she left me a small inheritance, and rather than paying bills off, I decided to put it into a car and make it a tribute to my mom. So what better car than a mom car, a station wagon. I had this in my mind for about 10 years. I wanted to make it a Tiki surf wagon, done period correct in that period in 1964. And I had limited budget, but when my mom left me a little bit of money, it grew the budget. I had that money and I decided to do the car complete, start to finish in 8 months. I saw it on the side of the road, and it was a rust bucket at the time, and it was in pretty bad shape. And I bought it, and I brought it home. I called my wife before I got there and said I bought a car, and I'm bringing it home. And she was all excited on the phone. And then when I drove up in it, I could see the disappointment in her face. And she's like, "Oh, really? You're gonna fix that up, huh?" And she couldn't see the vision that I saw. I'm the fourth owner of the car. A couple months ago, a lady stopped by and she was the second owner, and she actually gave me the history of the car. The unique thing about the car, it is a Santa Rosa car, bought here in Santa Rosa at the Comanche Chevrolet in Santa Rosa. I'm a big fan of Tiki. I go down in San Diego, Tiki Oasis. There's a lot of us out there. There's a big movement in the mid-century modern Tiki. If you go to my house, I have a Tiki backyard, I have a Tiki bar, and I love Hawaii. One of the things that I love is, I love details of cars. So I put hidden Tikis all over the car. So if I have kids looking at the car, if they're interested, I ask them, how many Tikis can you count? And they like that. See if they can find all the hidden Tikis. One of the unique things I have is the Tiki hanging from the headliner there is actually the Tiki from the Brady Bunch when they go to Hawaii. The Tabu Tiki that Bobby finds in the construction zone, gives to his brother. His brother wrecks in the surfboard, and then Peter gets it and a spider crawls up on his chest. So I have the Tiki from that. That's one of the little unique little treasures that I have. I like having all those small details that make it a little bit unique. It was all kind of serendipity. It all happened at the same time almost. It's kind of funny how things happen, and things kind of came together. I bought the car. A couple weeks later, I found that Tiki, and that's when I decided to name the car. And then I went out and I got the license plate, Tabu 64. had a stock 327 in it, but that one was really tired, and so I got a crate motor for it, a 350 Chevy, and put that in there. Kept the original drivetrain, the transmission, and then I put disc brakes on it. It didn't stop. When I first got it, you're always sweating every time you had to do a hard stop on this thing. There's quite a bit of weight to hold back. This car, when I got it, didn't have the third row seat in the back, so it took me a while to find, and I found it intact with there's little bumper steps that go onto the bumper, and it had those with it, so there's a little bit of work to put it in. The main thing is the headliner in it. It's all out of wood. And I used to be a woodworker, so it's something that I wanted to kind of integrate into it. And then the other thing is the rear speakers. My whole thought process is, if someone was building this car back in the day and he was a surfer and he ripped the headliner, he would have gotten some scrap wood and put it on the headliner instead of replacing the headliner. And then he wouldn't have been able to afford speakers for music, so he would have stolen them from the drive-in. So they're drive-in speakers from the drive-in movie in the back, and then I, of course, put good speakers inside. And then the stereo system for the car is all Bluetooth. The deck is really your phone, so you don't see any of that. That's all hidden. So there's nothing modern showing in the car at all. I can throw down the tailgate, and I can have a tailgate and have good music pumping. The car is like driving a big cloud, man. It just lumbers along. It's a really smooth ride, and it's like being in a parade every day, man. The looks you get from people always wave at you. I've ridden in my clients' really nice Ferraris, and you don't get that. People have stories, they relate to it, and they especially relate to the station wagon. I mean, everybody says, oh, I remember that car. I remember sitting in the back, facing backwards, making faces at people, and so everybody has that connection, more so to this car than a lot of other different classic cars. I like that it's different, that it's me, it's my personality.